Everybody. There is an automatic link to these going forward. It's a bit.ly. In case you haven't seen it, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. If you go to the table, I just posted it in there. It says link to the Zoom. And so it's a bit.ly. It says the table jewels. Going forward, you should be able to see bit.lys on Friday follow-up, on Monday Masterclass. I think there's a specific one just for Monday Masterclass that will auto link you directly to it. So last week we tried this, and because I had changed the password for my Zooms for the Star Diamond thing, it didn't work. But going forward, it's always the password's always just table. And if you ever get stuck. But as always, technology is ever making our lives easier and making our lives harder. I can't tell if this is a vein in my forehead now that I'm seeing it. Do y'all ever get on FaceTime or Zooms or Marco Polos and then you're like, wait, is that what I look like? So I just did that. Okay, we're gonna get started. Welcome. Hello, everybody. Just gonna look through faces, see who all's here, because I can't see everybody at one time. Okay. We're going to start with shout outs. So April Evans, I don't think is on the call right now, but she already has 7 people. So she has already earned her Apple Watch. Also people that have already earned their Apple Watch: Bailey Harris, Megan Hendrick, Teresa Johnson, Shannon Miller, Aletha Dawn Swaim. So I'm going to figure out if it's Aletha Dawn, if she doesn't say the Dawn, all of those things. And then one person away: Angie Atkinson, Sarah Byers, Melissa Deaton, Kimberly Duran, Sarah Horrell, Jenny Nelms, Bethany Spear, and Rebecca Williams. And I love that there are jewels on that list. Makes me happy. Just shows you that jewels are still working to earn all the things too. So trying to see who all is on the list. Do you see your name? Ivy. Okay, you see your name. This has you at 3, but Becky thinks you might have 4. Are you at 4? Okay, you're at 4. So we need to make sure that back office has it reflective. She may have done it. She may have pulled the numbers before. I think you added your 4th person yesterday. Am I right?
Jen pulled it before Ivy got that 4th one last night.
Perfect. So I love seeing you on here. Who else sees their name? It's hard to like scan through both who's on here and whose name is on the list. So who else sees their name?
Tina says she's only got 3 more to go.
Tina, that's awesome.
Christy Metropolis, how many do you need to add? 4 more to go. Okay.
Yeah. I was trying to look and see who else's names I see on here. This is awesome. Okay. And then top contributors. So there's 2 different groups that we're talking top contributors of. Star Diamond Rising group. So Sarah Byers, Ivy on Star Diamond's Rising group. Nice. Kelly Jones, Christy Metropolis, and April Evans all. And I'm noticing an overlap of people who are doing Star Diamonds and engaging on Star Diamonds and all the training over there, also being people who are on the top list of recruiters and are showing up there. So that's pretty impressive. That shows you an overlap. And I'm going to say the same thing here. So this is the tables engagement list. So Georgiana is on here, who's on a flight to Gold School right now. Ivy, Sally, who is growing past Fast Start Senior Silver, which she hit last month. Sarah Byers, Kathy Letts, Jessica Gross, Wesley Bishop, Vicki Line, Angie Zumwalt, Lisa Sturgis, Danielle Brown, Rhonda Hensel, Becca Van Dyne, Kim Barnes, Melissa Ruiz, Jessica Koblentz, and Roxanne Hudson. I see a huge overlap between people that are showing up and people whose businesses and mindset are in the right place. So sometimes your business may not take off as fast as your mindset does, but if you're in the right headspace as you're working, I think that's where a lot of times showing up. And here's what I want to say. These people are hopefully not spending a lot of time in these groups. They're hopefully sitting like, hey, I'm coming in, I'm getting information, and I'm going out and applying it. I'm coming in, I'm finding out what's going on, putting it on my calendar, because that's a lot of the table. As I've found it, put it on my calendar. Now I'm moving on. I've got my alarm set. I know that, this afternoon there's there's the power hours, or there are, golly, y'all, there have been so much. There was a men's call this week. There was last night, Real People, Real Stories call, all the things. So all those things are showing up on the table. So the table is truly a resource for you to use to make your business like functional, work, grow, all the things. So hopefully you're seeing that. Okay, Beck, you ready to get started?
Yeah, and I want to remind you guys, just because sometimes it's so important that I remind myself. When you invite people, if you, let's say you spend 2 weeks inviting people to all the things and nobody gets on, that doesn't mean you're not getting into momentum. Momentum is what happens after 90 days of you doing the invites. And even when people say no, because truthfully, part of what we're doing is repetition is a teacher. And I was just telling someone yesterday, like if someone says, hey, I can't get on all these calls, you want to make sure that you let them know, I don't expect you to. I just want to make sure you know they're happening. Don't feel pressure. I've got a busy life too. I just don't want to miss the chance that maybe I'm going to invite you to something and it might just be the perfect time for you. And you might just have had a window of opportunity happen. So I try to remind people, like when I'm inviting you to this stuff, I don't want to overwhelm you. I just know that it's all it takes is one call to ignite someone's excitement.
Well, yeah, and when you say too, Beck, like we don't get on every call that we announce either. Like there's no way that we could work our business functionally and have a functional life, like a work-life balance and get on everything. But we want to give y'all the opportunity to have access to everything so you can pick and choose what goes on your calendar. So a lot of times if you feel overwhelmed, it's because you have the expectation that maybe you have the expectation that Becky or I or your sponsor thinks you need to be on these calls, when really it's more we want you to know you have access to these calls. Or this is a call that if you can't get on, I hear people say all the time, well, I haven't invited anybody to Real People Real Stories, I can't get on that call. And it's like, no, it's not just for you, it's for you to know about, to invite other people to. So there may be a call like today that you can't get on, but your team needs to have access to it. So do you have a place where you're either tagging your team on the table, or do you have a place where you are dropping all of the same information to them so they have access to it in a really consumable place too? So I think it's really good, Beck, that you remind us that the expectation isn't that you're doing every single event, that you're listening to every single call all the way through, but that you know you have access to it so that you know you have some way to plug in every day or every day that you're working your business. Sorry, I'm going to cough real fast. Hold on. Got to mute.
I'm laughing. Sarah Byers is like, I'm working from bed today. I haven't looked in the mirror. Sarah, can you see me? By the way, it's fine if you keep your camera turned off, but I look so ratchet.
Yeah, and I'm actually in bed, and this is just the shirt I slept in last night. So do not think that I did like look when I first got on. I was like, oh, all the hairs are actually in the bun, which is like a good thing. Like, yeah, here we are. Okay, let's get started because we got a lot to do, and I only want to do this for 30 minutes because I want to give y'all time to actually get to work on this Friday. Okay, so Friday follow-up, we're going to spend 3 minutes mapping, and we've never done this on Friday follow-up before, but I thought it was so good that Jen Cobb talked about this on the Star Diamonds Rising. If you are having a hard time getting on all the Star Diamond Rising, and some of them are really long, I think Jen's live was like 40 minutes. So it was really long, and it was it was pretty repetitive of what she'd already talked about that day. So if you need, what was Jen, Tuesday? Someone remind me. I think Jen was Tuesday. Yeah, Ivy says yes. What her team does every single morning is they get on a thread. They tell everybody, these are how many orders I need today based on what's ready for the rest of the month. And these are the I need 3 orders today. These are the 3 people I'm talking to. Like my 3, my top, closest to jumping off the fence, or the people I need to just get their subscription reset, or the people that I just need to have conversations with. So here's what I want to do really fast. And I'm going to try to be really mindful of time. Okay. Is for 3 minutes, we're going to map this. And here's how you're going to do it. You're going to take your current points, and I'm going to do it with you because I've been doing this every single day because it's really helping me. So my current points, 550, I don't know what it was. I got to projected, so I can't tell you what my current points are. I think they're 4 something. I'm a Ruby ambassador. So my current points plus whatever subs are left to run. So for me, that leaves me at 560. So you need to know exactly. And Jen did a really good thing I've never done before, is instead of going like level by level, going, oh, this person's 6 points when their sub runs. Oh, this sub's only $50. So it's only going to be 2 points to me. Don't micromanage that. Add up how many subs have left to run in March, which you can just go to the subscription tab in your back office. And I think you have to double click it and all the subs run to the top. Make sure you scroll to March because some people have pushed their subs. Scroll to March, count how many there are, and then like multiply it by, multiply it by 5. So you have, let's just say on average, 5 points per person. So if you have 10 subs left to run in March, you have 50 points left coming to you. Does that make sense? Nods. I see video. If your video's on, okay, good. Nods. Okay, good. So get your point prediction. So like my point prediction is 560 right now. But my goal, so next line, goal points. My goal is 750 because that's my next rank, which is Senior Ruby, minus my prediction points. So I have 190 points I have to make up. So that's points to find. I got to go find 190 points, which might seem like a lot, but wait till we get there. Points to find divided by 5, just an average points per order, whether they're a level 4 or they're a level 1, let's just average it at 5. So that's the number of orders left. So I have 38 orders I have left to get for the month, which still seems like a lot, right? 38 orders, that's a lot, especially if you feel like you're kind of working by yourself or with one other person. But then you take your orders left and you divide it by 10, which is how many days are left in the month, including today. And yes, including Easter, which is the 31st, which I'm not asking you to work on Easter. I'm just saying that's how many days we have left in the month. So that's how many orders you need each day. So that's my orders needed today is I need 4. So 4 orders today feels manageable because that does not have to be 4 brand new people from me. That needs to be 4 new people from anybody on my team, including me, because I know what my personal goal is. So I know I need to go get at least 1 because I've got 2 more people I've got to get so I can get that rank maintenance bonus. Anybody else trying to just get their 3 this month so they can get that rank maintenance bonus? Like minimum, right, Christy? So watch would be great. But if I don't get 3, I'm leaving $200 on the table. Do y'all know how much money you're leaving on the table if you don't go get 3 people for that rank maintenance bonus? If you're gold, if you held gold in February and you hold gold this month and get 3 people, it's $100. Senior gold is 150, ruby is 200, and senior ruby is 250. So money on the table. Okay. You're welcome to take a screenshot of that. Jen has talked it through. There are like 4 posts on the table about mapping. If you want to map with me every day, I have a thread started that myself, Georgiana, and Sally are the only ones who have commented on. So you are welcome to be in my thread. Please come thread with me. Okay. Ivy said I'll miss out on $100. We're not going to miss out on $100, Ivy. Oh, you're already there. You already got 4. So you already got your rank maintenance bonus. So you're already going to hold, because if you hold, but you need to hold rank 2, right? I think it's both. Okay. So the next 3 minutes, we are going to spend 3 minutes messaging people. Okay. So these are people who have already received, are already receiving the how to earn messages from last Sunday night's call. So who has somebody, you have to re-rank gold. Yes. Did you hold gold in, February, Ivy? Okay. So you're going to hit gold for the re-rank gold for the first time in like however long and get your 3, you're going to get your $100. Perfect. Okay. But you're so close. I'm watching it happen before our eyes. Okay. So these are people that last Sunday night you had them on the call and they got in the chat. Does anybody just drop a 1 in or a Y or whatever? I don't care. In the chat, if you have somebody who is getting the text messages this week. Does anybody, or nod your head if I can see your face. Does anyone have someone that's getting the text messages this week? I'm seeing no nodding of heads. Okay. Then let's talk about this for 3 minutes.
Yeah. And then I say we set some time to do really good invites too.
I think we invite in 2 more slides. I think we're going to invite to Sunday night in 2 more slides, I think. If not, then we'll set it for that. But what is one reason why you think you do not have people getting the text messages this week? please unmute and talk to me. Y'all are sitting right there. Just unmute and talk. You do not have to wait, spend the time typing in the chat.
Not enough invites.
Yep.
Not
too.
enough invites. Yep.
Okay.
I'm not invited to it, but I'm doing lots of parties.
Okay.
Lots.
Why would you do parties instead of inviting people to the Sunday night call?
Well, they're to get potentials, and then if they want to share, then I would invite them to the Sunday night call.
That's interesting. I would invite every single person to Sunday night calls, y'all. Because Sunday night calls to me it still talks about everybody's story. And so it's still third party validation on the business. So most people, like if I'm telling my Sunday night story, I'm still talking about like, I didn't feel good. I started the products. We knew we needed more. We got Ella on the probiotic and the BioCleanse. It worked so well that I had to share with everyone or I would feel like a jerk. And so you're planting that seed. I think what you're doing, Sarah, is obviously working. It's obviously growing your team. But I think next level is making sure you aren't pre-qualifying who you don't invite to Sunday nights and Thursday nights. And y'all, pot kettle, like it is hard not to go. I mean, I have my list, my potentials list, right? This is the list I'm working off of all my potentials. And I'm like, I don't think Amy is even interested. I mean, she's been watching me do this for 10 years. So she's probably, I mean, if she's interested, she'll message me, right? Because Amy's been watching me and I talk to her every day and I'm going to dinner with her and 3 other couples on Saturday. Sorry, dog. But I do think like if we start to pre-qualify, like, well, they're not even in on the products yet. I don't want to invite them to Sunday night. Sunday night is just one more third-party validation touch. And I want to challenge you and myself to making sure everybody that you're talking to about Plexus, everybody in your funnel knows that Sunday night is happening. Go ahead, Beck.
Yeah, 2 things, because Andrea knows that I'm the queen of pre-qualification because she'll call me on it a lot. I think Andrea can call me on my pre-qualification, but I'm hearing that maybe she needs to call herself on her pre-qualification. But I want to say to Sarah Byers, what I love about you doing the events, Sarah, is the ownership. And I would say I'm realizing personally that when I don't own something, I'm less likely to invite. So that's one of my curious questions for us today is what's keeping us from ownership of things like the Sunday night call or the Thursday night? Like I'm not speaking on it, right? And thank God, because I have been through those burnout phases. And Sarah, I'm sure you're having a month where, you know, you're pushing yourself and you're feeling the burn of so much ownership. However, I'm like, how can we take ownership of actually sending these messages? Because I think we're all in the same boat. We just haven't sent enough. And part of it is, I think, planning the time, which is that's what today is about. And then detaching from outcomes as we send the message and how you invite. Christy Salcido had someone who's interested in the business, but told her like, I just don't have time to do all these calls, which again, when you invite someone, you can just say, and I think a voice message sometimes is great. Hey, I'm going to invite you to this. I totally know that you might not have the time to do it. So please know there's no expectation on my end. I just don't want to miss the chance to invite you to anything that might ignite your passion. And keep it short and sweet and let them know, like they get off the hook and say, I'll follow up with you, but don't worry at all if you weren't able to do it. So it kind of keeps it light. But if we send those kind of messages, I think it prompts some ownership for us. So do y'all hear me on the ownership thing? Like, by the way, part of owning something is lifting your leadership lid. Andrea and I, like, we know that we have Masterclass Monday and Follow-Up Friday every week because we have to own this call. So we don't have the option to bow out of this. So it forces us to do the in-between work. But like, what if you were hosting this call? What would you have done prior to Follow-Up Friday? If I called on you, you know, Christy Salcido, to lead this call this Friday, do you think you would have spent time preparing for it in a way that maybe doesn't happen when I'm just a participant? Does that make sense to y'all? So the big question I've been asking myself recently is, how can I own this stuff better? And that's why I would just encourage you, like, how can I own Sunday nights? Not that you have to be on. The reason we're doing automatic calls is so that you don't burn out. so that we do automate it. The reason we're sending the text earn to people is so that you're not every day trying to text your person. Christy?
Okay, so here's my struggle, and I don't know if this is anybody else, and so if it's just me, then sorry for bringing it up. But from what I understand about the Sunday night calls, if somebody gets on a Sunday night call, are we not asking them to commit to get into that chat? Like they text something to a number and then they've got to do all these action steps? Like I feel like if I've got a potential or somebody that I haven't talked to about the business before, yes, I want them to be inspired by the stories they hear. Yes, I want them to hear third-party validation, but I don't want to push them into thinking, oh gosh, now Christy wants me to get this in this chat and I've got to do all these action steps starting tomorrow morning. Like, help me with that.
Have you listened to a Sunday night call recently since they started the text earn?
Have I?
Yes.
No.
Yeah,
So-
okay, so that's why this is a great question, because this is part of your pre-qualification that you're, because it's, the option is not like, if you're on this call, then you are getting these texts. It's like, hey, if this at all sounds appealing, then they have to write that number down, text it, which means they are literally owning it now. Otherwise, the whole call is just testimony.
Okay.
At the very end is the option, like if this, and it's a super light ask. It's like, we're going to send you a text every day. This is what it's going to be like. And the whole, on the other end of the text messages is $300. So people who are texting that number are basically like, I want to make $300. And wouldn't you like to know if a potential who might not tell you, Christy, I'd like to earn $300, but might feel the freedom to just, hey, all I got to do is text this number. That's why this follow-up is so important with people like, hey, were you able to get on? No, I wasn't. No worries, girl. Totally understand. Can I keep like letting you know when these happen just in case you might have time in the future? You don't have to. Yeah, you can keep letting me know. But then if they tell you, yeah, I was on. Okay, what'd you think? Well, I actually texted that number. Oh my gosh. Suddenly you have someone letting you know that they're kind of working the business.
Okay, because I know when it was like in a group chat, it would be like people were posting, here's a copy of my screenshot. I did this, I did this.
That's
and
why
people-
they did away with that. And that's
Okay.
the brilliance of the text to earn is there. First of all, that was unsustainable. And Andrea knows because she ran that chat for weeks and weeks. It was unsustainable. Like it needs to be something that all of us can recreate, and that chat isn't. But the text to earn is it's a daily text with simple asks.
Okay, okay, all right. Then I'm going to change my mindset today about inviting potentials. How's that?
I think it will help you too if you listen in on the call on a Sunday night, and so you can hear how that ask sounds, so that
Okay.
you can say, like, so that you have an idea of, and you can go back and listen to old ones. So all the Sunday night calls are recorded. And so whoever your closest diamond is, I think or Jewel actually has access to those, because Melissa Eichenhorst puts them out on the Jewel page and the diamond page. So you should be able to find whichever one you want to listen to and send someone. But I think if you listen to one of the last few, you can hear how that comes across. And it's never a bad thing for them to be invited to something. Just like they're invited to the call, to decide if they want to go to the call. When they're on the call, they get invited to text or either thing, the chat, or because really even the chat is they had to say, I want in the chat. So they still have to put effort in. And most of us would have been like, I don't want in a chat. I don't even know what that means. But I'm glad I got to listen to 15 minutes of testimonials, and I'll listen to the next one. So it's building blocks. All of this stuff is all building blocks.
Yeah, and Tina brings up a good point. So Tina says that she's been on them, and she had a girl who was on the call, got into the text, and then got overwhelmed, which I'm not surprised. So Tina said, like, I've learned to tell people prior about the option of text messaging so they know about it. That's why I think I really do sometimes wonder if like a two-part invite, like, again, I'm trying to tell everyone, I know you're busy and I know you only have, like, I'm sending you this invite. Please don't feel like you have to get on. But I just want to keep bringing things to the table for you. And then if they say, yeah, I can get on, that would be a time for me. And usually I'm reminding them on Sunday night. If I set a reminder on my phone, I'm like, hey, don't forget this is tonight. But then I say, hey, just so you know, at the end, they're going to let you opt into text messaging. and we can talk afterwards. And like Tina's saying, yeah, let's talk after the call. And then you can kind of let them know, hey, you're going to get this text message every day. The text message is not like, you're not going to die if if you don't do what it says, but it kind of shows you what you should do to get that money at the end. And that way it's going to help weed out your people who are, you know how you have people who are like, I want to earn, and then they don't do a dang thing. It helps you weed out your looky-loos, and it helps you figure out like who's hungry. That's my thought. And again, guys, the detachment from the outcome is key, because you guys are in this business because you have good intuition with people, but sometimes that good intuition keeps you from inviting people to things because you get so up in your feels about how you think they're feeling. Does that make sense? I'm the key. I'm the primary person who does this.
I love that Becky's the one talking on that. That makes me happy.
Andrea
Okay.
does not have that element, which is why she's like, bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna be really respectful of y'all's time. We have 5 minutes left, so we're gonna fly through these but I want you to screenshot each page either with your phone or if you're on your computer, you can do however your computer screenshots. But so that you know what you need to do the rest of the day. But evaluate how your Thursday night invites went. So exactly what we just talked about from last night. Are on Sunday night is why you didn't invite people to Sunday night call. All the thoughts you have around that. Same thing for Thursday night calls. How many times did you invite people to Thursday night calls? Did you give them the opportunity to respond? Did you ask them something in the Facebook post? Did you do a poll? Did you do a slider in your stories? How personal did you get with your invitation? Did you actually invite that specific person for a specific reason for them? And then what are some things that you could do differently for the Sunday night call coming up? So I think it's really intentional to make sure that you are not putting invitations out on social media without a way for them to respond to them. If you're putting a Sunday night graphic out on your stories without a slider or a poll, how do you expect them to let you know that they want you on there? Okay. Screenshot real fast, and you know exactly what you need to be doing for Sunday night's call. And then who can you invite for Sunday night? So here's a couple of sample scripts for inviting people to Sunday night call. You need to do this today because it's Friday, and you need to be able to have follow-up conversation time on Saturday or Sunday, whichever one you if you tend to follow up on one of those 2 days. Hey, Beck, I'm not sure if it's for you or not, but some of my friends are sharing their stories on Sunday. I think you might enjoy listening in. Can I send you the link? Go through and read all 3 of the stories of the people that are actually speaking, because then you may have a better idea of who you want to invite and why you want to invite them. Is it a military mom? Is it a teacher? Is it, they tell you a little bit about their stories. And so go in and read those. And the graphic this week has Darcy Groton at the top, just in case you need to make sure you have the right graphic. They are on the table. They're pinned to featured every week on the table. So Darcy Groton is a diamond. So you might be able to find her diamond documentary too, if you want to share that with someone before the Sunday night call, if you feel like there's a connection there. Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing something in the chat. Yeah, Real People, Real Stories is a huge belief builder. The Sunday night calls are Zoom, right? Yeah, they are same thing, bit.ly. And I think it's /how-to-earn or something. I don't know. It is pinned on the table though. So as soon as Melissa drops that graphic, we pin it on the table so y'all can go find it in the featured section of the Facebook page. And same thing with Thursday night calls. So we try to keep those both at the very top, so you're not having to search through and find them. I will say, if you ever need to find the Zoom link, copy the text into your notes in your notes section of your phone, and then you can hot link. You can just grab that one section. But if you're on your phone, you can't just grab just the Facebook or just the Zoom link from a post. So you kind of have to copy that information over. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk about, literally 1 minute left, is you need to put connections up. So if you did not listen to Brittany Howard yesterday, I think it was yesterday, pretty sure, on Star Diamonds Rising, she talks about what if every connection you made, a back and forth conversation twice. So I send Christy a message, she sends me a message back, I send one back to her, she sends one back. So it's a 4-pass conversation, counts as a connection. What if you had 10 of those today? Does not have to be about Plexus. It's just conversations. I'm currently talking to a friend of Becky and I's about basketball. just talking about her kid, our kids go to camp together. They go the same term in the summer. You know, is your kid going? How does basketball look? Those kind of conversations. So I'm just having back and forth just to get myself out of my own bubble. Like some of these people, like I'm not trying to sign up Kelly to be an ambassador. I'm literally just trying to get myself out of my own bubble. And that is like, who am I making connections with? So I have a list of all of my people in my funnel. And then I put a number 1 through 10 next to people I've actually sent messages to. But yesterday, y'all, I had to send 25 messages. 25. I had to like birthdays and hey, I love your story. Tell me where you got your shirt. All of those. I had to send 25 before I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 back. So I just want you to know I didn't even hit 7 connections or 10 connections yesterday because I sent 26 and I only got 7 connections out of that. So how many conversations are you starting brand new? Haven't talked to them in the last week or two. Brand new conversations are you starting today? I want to challenge you to 10. People like Becky are like, that's a lot of conversations to be in with a lot of people. But I just want to say, you probably will start 20 or 30 and probably won't get back and forth from half of them.
And
So
I will say that the number one business builder is conversation. You are so afraid to send a text message with an invite. But like, if you like, I love that Andrea asked, what if you got paid $1,000 per connection? It is relationships that build your business. Honestly, that's the hardest part of this job. It's the best part and the hardest because it's hard to keep up with a lot of relationships, but it's also so rewarding. So instead of getting so laser focused on, I've got to get a yes, just get laser focused on, I've got to start a conversation.
okay, so I'm going to challenge y'all to a goal, if nothing else. If you don't sign up anybody new, if you don't get anybody subscription set, if you don't get anybody, you know, whatever, all the things. If you start 10 or you have 10 connections today, you will have won Friday. If you have 10 people that you're just having back and forth conversations with about what are their birthday plans, you know, what's happening over the weekend, you know, whatever it is. Go have connections with 10 people today. It will change your mindset on at least you're in conversations, and you will have a list. You will have 10 people in your funnel that may not sign up for 90 days or 9 years, but they're in your funnel. Okay. That's it. That's the entire thing. I think making sure. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Y'all have a great Friday. We'll see you Sunday night on the call. Bye y'all.